The Guangdong province, in southern China, is currently experiencing one of the worst natural disasters in its recent history. For more than a week, torrential rains have fallen without interruption, turning entire cities into aquatic ruins and forcing tens of thousands of residents to flee their homes. These historic downpours have struck the major cities of Shenzhen, Huizhou, Dongguan, Shanwei, and Zhaoqing head-on. Within just a few hours, rainfall reached levels unseen in 3 decades, saturating the soil, overflowing rivers, and paralyzing daily life. August 29th will remain etched in the memory of Zhaoqing's residents. In the early morning, the sky darkened with a threatening gray, and within 2 hours, torrents of rain poured down on the city. In the Duanzhou district, main streets such as Biling Road turned into muddy rivers, but it was in Mount Dinghu, a nearby mountainous area, where the situation tipped into tragedy. The torrential rains triggered a sudden and devastating flash flood. Furious torrents, loaded with rocks and debris, rushed down the slopes, sweeping away everything in their path. Houses were torn from their foundations, several vehicles were swallowed, and entire neighborhoods were cut off within minutes. Terrified residents described the disaster as more violent than anything experienced in decades. Some had less than 5 minutes to leave their homes before being trapped by the rising waters. Mrs. Lin, a shopkeeper from Dinghu district, recounted in tears. "We heard a rumbling sound from the mountain. A few seconds later, the water came, black, filled with rocks. My husband barely had time to grab our 2 children and run. We lost everything." In the affected neighborhoods, the scenes were apocalyptic. Cars piled on top of each other, collapsed houses, residents stranded on rooftops waiting for rescue. Within the first hours, Zhaoqing's firefighters were deployed. Equipped with amphibious vehicles, inflatable boats, and rescue dogs, they tried to save as many lives as possible. But the extreme conditions complicated their mission. Relentless rain, blocked roads, power outages, and communications cut off in several districts. To maintain command of operations, authorities activated emergency communication systems, allowing rescuers to remain coordinated despite widespread phone network failures. In total, more than 8,000 residents were evacuated in Zhaoqing alone, and about 30 temporary shelters were opened in schools and gymnasiums. In Dongguan, the situation became equally critical. The city of Jiangmutu issued a red alert for torrential rain. Low-lying neighborhoods were completely submerged, roads turned into canals, and residents had to abandon their vehicles and seek higher ground. Local police and urban services immediately launched a large-scale rescue operation. Temporary shelters housed thousands of displaced residents, providing food, drinking water, and medical assistance. Beyond the cities, the province's entire river network is at risk of collapsing. At the Shillong Hydrological Station, on the East River, water levels exceeded 2.15 meters, a critical threshold not seen in 20 years. 15 small reservoirs reached their safety limits and are currently undergoing controlled discharges. Hydrological authorities warn the collapse of even a single dam could have catastrophic consequences for downstream cities. With saturated soil and rivers in flood, experts now fear landslides and mudflows. In mountainous areas, several roads have already collapsed. Train services have been suspended on some lines, and Shenzhen Airport was forced to cancel more than 100 flights due to persistent storms. Meteorological services announced that new heavy rains are expected in the coming days, worsening an already critical situation. Across the province, images of the catastrophe circulate, hospitals overwhelmed with the injured, families separated, desperately searching for missing loved ones, volunteers distributing food and blankets in makeshift shelters. At present, the provisional toll stands at 27 dead and more than 80 missing. That figure may rise, as several mountain villages remain inaccessible. The central government has dispatched military and logistical reinforcements. Hundreds of soldiers, equipped with speedboats and reconnaissance drones, are taking part in search operations. Meanwhile, the population has shown remarkable solidarity. In Shenzhen, hundreds of volunteers mobilized to prepare hot meals for the disaster victims. Donations are also pouring in from other provinces: drinking water, clothing, and medicines. Guangdong is regularly struck by typhoons and heavy rains. But according to meteorologists, the current episode is exceptional in both duration and intensity. Some are already calling it the greatest hydrological disaster of the century. In this strategically vital region of China. As the rain continues to fall, authorities urge maximum vigilance. The priority remains saving human lives, but reconstruction will likely take months, if not years.